Hey guys! Have you ever felt stressed? Have you ever thought, what is stress? Maybe I am stressed, or why are they stressed? Well, we're going to kind of just talk about that today. We're going to just kind of go over what it is and how we can help to reduce those feelings of stress. Stress is any type of change, whether it be physical, emotional, psychological, anything that's a strain on ourselves, our persons. Many ways that we can think about that we've all kind of probably went through maybe at some point is financial strain, where it's a financial problem or a work issue or a relationship issue. If you have kids, there's parental stress. There's just the hustle and bustle of everyday life. There's the news giving information that can cause stress. It's just anything that causes that strain, right? And we've all been impacted by stress at some point, I am sure, I would love to say, no, you haven't. But unfortunately, it's true. Most everybody has been impacted by stress. Some of us handle stress better than others. Some of us handle, certain types of stress better than others. How it affects us, me, might not affect you the same way. Stress is very strange in its own because, again, it might not impact two people the same way. One person might be more apt to work through it quicker because, maybe they've been through stress and they've worked through it before, so it becomes easier for them to go through the process of doing what they need to do to regulate that feeling of stress, right? So let's talk about stress at work. You got big project coming and it's due tomorrow, right? And you've been trying, and you're sitting there just kind of hitting your head on your computer just going, what am I going to do? Well, believe it or not, that's not going to fix the situation. So what we have to do at that point is kind of pull ourselves away from that, take a break, step away and just do some deep breaths. Maybe you need to stop and eat. Maybe you need to stop and get a drink or go for a short walk. We need to step away from that so that we can get away, come back, and hopefully that work stress can become less because now you can refocus on it, financial problems, that's one that causes a lot of stress for many people, and that is harder to just work through because normally when you're feeling that financial stress, it's because you have bills due or whatever's happening, right? Well, I personally know that I used to stress about that a lot. I went from an income of 2 to 1, and I had to make some changes, but I stressed about how I was going to do it. I learned that the more I stressed, the harder I made it because I wore my body down just stressing about it. But if I could take some, time to take care of me, take a walk, take a shower, do whatever, I could normally muster myself up to work more hours to help with that stress, because that would make my check bigger. When it comes to parenting, have you ever been in that situation when you're just like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore? You're right. You shouldn't do it anymore. You should take a break. You know how we tell our kids, do you want a timeout? Maybe you should take a timeout. Maybe you should take a moment just to set back. If you have babies or infants, it's a little bit harder, especially if you're on your own. But you still deserve to be able to take care of you because once you do that, it will help regulate that and that stress will become less affecting on your bodies. Okay. So let's talk about what we do to help with stress. Okay. I've kind of said it a few times. You've got to take care of yourself. You've got to feed your body. You have to sleep. You have to, give yourself adequate, time of sleep. You have to give yourself exercise and give yourself fresh air. And you have to, just really care for yourself. Take care of your body. Do what you need to do to feed your soul to where that's more balanced and you're not handling that stress in such a negative way. Okay. Take time to unwind. Okay. So I'm really big at this now. I've gotten so much better, but there was a point in my day where I never stopped. Like, it was just from the time I got up to the time I went to bed, go, 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 go. And it was mentally stressing me out. Like, I was stressed to the max by the end of the day. Well, things happen in life and I learned to readjust that. So here I am, and I know if I hit my head, like I'm at a standstill, can't do anything else because I just feel too stressed, I just need to stop. I need to go take a quick, lay down on the bed for a few, or I need to go for a walk, or shoot, maybe I need to eat. Maybe I'm getting hangry, and those elements affect how we handle that stress, right? I have friends that unfortunately have relied on drugs and alcohol to help really reduce stress. And what I've seen and what I've studied about that is that really doesn't help long term. It will put a quick Band-Aid on it, and then normally it tenfolds later because of just the repercussion of it. So it's not really a healthy way to handle stress. I mean, like I said, it might make you feel better in the moment, but long term, it's not going to really do much. I've been talking about talking to your people, talk to others, talk to your neighbors, talk to your mom, talk to your significant other, talk to whoever it is about your feelings, about what's going on. Let them have your back and support you a little bit. Let them be your sounding board, because sometimes just talking about it will help tremendously. It will help that stress, just not stick around so long, And I know that we don't all have somebody that we can trust 110%, right? I get it. Understand completely. But that's why I've said, and that's why I do these videos, because, there are so many resources available. There's therapists, available. There's sliding scales, and some insurance pay for it all. Like, if you don't have insurance, there's normally, depending on the city, state that you live in, there's resources for you that will do it for no cost. There are generally going to be ways to get you somebody to talk to allow you to get these things off your chest. They allow you to have a sounding board. They allow you to get things out, and then they provide that support you need, and maybe give you ideas, or they can give you the boost or the push when you need it. So if you don't have anybody that you can talk to close to you, there are ways to, find resources for you to be able to talk to somebody. And I've told you guys, I would be more than glad to, help you find resources, because stress, guys, is very, very big. We've all had kind of a hard 3 years. The world has been stressful. The news has been stressful. Work has been stressful. Staying, in your house has been stressful. There's been so many stressful situations. And some of those things, like I said, taking care of yourself, your mind, your body, your soul, just doing what you need to do, are things that we could have continued to do through it all. But a lot of times that didn't happen, because though we didn't want to feel stressed, we would still hear the news, or we would still be in the same situation. We didn't get to go to work, or whatever it may be, and it's caused that mental health outbreak to be just really hard right now. And there will be, probably years of impacts from just the last 3 years itself. If it's financial problems, generally those can work themselves out with some time. If it's relationship problems, those also generally will work themselves out with time or communication, and just putting forth the effort to take care of yourself first, I kind of just want to say this. You cannot do anything in life if you do not take care of who you are. Okay? You can't help anybody. You can't help any situations. Generally, you'll see that things just get worse. And that's the hard truth. Like, you've got to fuel yourself from within to make everything else function with ease or easier. And if you cannot take care of yourself, it makes everything that you do in everyday life harder. It makes stress more, apt to affect you. It makes things that, you probably didn't worry about before stressful to you now. So you really just have to take care of yourself, For 3 years or 2 years, I guess, I watched the news pretty heavy and, went through a lot of things just hearing about COVID and, what was going on in daily life. And then at some point I had to cut that off, like that news couldn't be there anymore because it was no longer, it wasn't helping me from the beginning, but it was beginning to do more damage. It was making me feel more stress, more worry, more fear about everyday life, So I had to cut that off. I had to stop watching the daily news 5 times a day, whatever I was watching. And I had to stop, I could not do that anymore because it was only damaging me. It was stressing me out. It was wearing me down. So part of taking care of myself is I took breaks from watching the news or the media or, like now social media is something for me. Like I don't even get on social media much because why? Because it's stressful to see how people treat each other online or what people say, like I absorb all that and it's stressful. So I just don't do it like I once did because it's not calming for me. So stress is something that we can manage. Stress is very hard. You do have to work on you to figure out what you need to do to make changes. But if you really want to make changes, it becomes easier to do this. Okay? So what I would say is just remember, if you are feeling a lot of stress and worry, fear, just is it mental? Is it physical? Is it emotional? Just whatever you are feeling stressed about, stop and observe that situation and kind of listen to what I said. Take care of you. If it's something that you can take care of from within and you can take care of your body and you can feed it right and you can rest right and you can, just do what you exercise. Just do what you need to do to take care of you. You'll see that stress becomes less. It might not happen over immediately, but it will with time give you clarity. The taking care of yourself gives you more clarity to work through those stressful situations. So I hope that helps you guys because again, stress is very big and it often leads to bigger problems, if we don't learn to manage that at that level. If you're one that's having a hard time in a relationship, it's known to take it into depression and go further than that. Like there's a rolling effect. So the biggest outtake from this is, guys, if you are looking to reduce your stress, please know that you have to take care of you first. Okay? I do want to thank you guys for watching. We will talk more about this at some point. But for now, just remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell for future notifications. That way you can see when I talk about more. Thank you guys and have a good evening.